Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Super Rugby Pacific. This one, MOANA PASIFIKA going head-to-head with the Western Force. It is the first game of round 3, and already the Western Force, they haven't quite got off to the best start here. As you can see, they are sitting with minus 42 as their points differential. 2 losses from the 2. MOANA PASIFIKA, they have had 1 great win over the Fijian draw in Fiji, and then also suffered that big defeat up against the Hurricanes for the Canes' first game of the Super season. But looking through at these 2 lineups, they are looking relatively strong. Moana going with very much so a different lineup to that game up against the Hurricanes, and similar more so to that lineup that we saw up against the Fijian draw. In the front row, it is Tito Tuipulotu as the number 1, Sanarevi at 2, and Apua slotting in as the number 3. Tom Savage and Alan Craig, a lot of experience between those 2 men in the locking duo. For MOANA PASIFIKA here, Miracle Whaialangi once again captains the side from the number 6 jersey. Samisi Pai was the late exclusion from last week's game. He moves back into number 7, and Samisi Tupo Taeloa, after scoring in the first match up against the Fijian draw, he was absent last week, comes back in for this game. Up against the Force, Jonathan Tamatine is the starting 9 with Patrick Pellegrini at 10, Solomon Alaimalo out on the left wing, Nani Laumape back in the midfield alongside Lalo Milo. And then Tavita Offa, he is out there due to that injury that we saw of Leota last week. And then Glenn Vaihu, he slots in at number 15 due to not just the injury of William Harvili, then also I believe we did see the injury of Simon Peter Talifoa, I think was his last name, or Taliafoa or something along those lines. He was actually playing there last week, did suffer a bit of an injury along the way as well. Looking through at the starting lineup for the Western Force, Tom Robertson, Nick Dolly and Harry Johnson-Holmes. They will be the front row. Franco Molina and Darcy Swain in the locking duo with the captains Jeremy Williams as the number 6. So actually both skippers in the number 6 jerseys for this game. Carlo Tizzano, who's been a try-scorer machine. Last year he was right up the top of the bunch, and this year he has gone 1 try in the first game, no tries in the second, and he doesn't normally go 2 weeks without a try. So I do think he's got a great chance crossing the line for this game. We've got equalizes as the number 8. Nathan Hastie starts at 9 with Ben Donaldson at 10. Bailey Quinzel out on the left wing. Hamish Stewart and George Bridge make up the midfield. Darby Lancaster and Matt Greeley as the number 15. So those are the starting lineups, ladies and gentlemen, for this matchup. We have got this game is live in Sky Open in New Zealand. Yeah, they seem to do that first game on Friday night is the one that they go with in terms of all of the weekend, the free-to-air option. I wish they'd do the Saturday night 7:05 game too. Definitely this week, because Chiefs Crusaders is a pretty big game, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people wanting to see that match as well. Do you think the Brumbies will win against the Blues tomorrow? I think they've got a decent chance. They're at GIO Stadium, and we know that the Brumbies have got a pretty impressive record at that stadium indeed, so the Blues are going to have to play well. They want to get themselves a win there. Did you see, are we playing Barbarians again? And Scott is the captain. Scott is the coach of that team. Scott Robertson, he is past his playing days, but yeah, he is the coach of the side. Let's see how he goes. In that case, we do see here the Western Force making their way out onto the field. It's quite interesting. They actually have to walk through the MOANA PASIFIKA reserves in this case. Nice moment there between Equalizes and one of the MOANA fellas who aren't going to be playing in this contest. The Satyrs are going to go 0-3. Says Kiwi Rob, and first half prediction says Bokang. Well, these 2 sides like scoring points up against each other, and they also don't like tackling that much at times from what we've seen this season. So it's either going to be both sides struggle to score, or it's going to be an absolute try fest, and we're going to see 10 tries from these 2 teams combined throughout this match. It might be a little bit closer to the second one, I would say. No high fives. Says Mega, it looks like there's plenty of high fives though with the crowd as the Western Force make their way out of the tunnel. A well-supported side no matter where they are in the world. Seems to be there's always someone's friend, someone along the line somewhere likes the Western Force. So, you know, they've got some support all around the globe. George Bridge, 30 years of age, 84 Super Rugby caps. He's had 19 caps for the All Blacks, but he is on a 2-year deal with the Western Force here. George Bridge is a trader. Why? Because he signed a contract to another team. Fun fact, 99% of players have not played for the same side the whole way through their career. And some haven't even played consistently in the same country. Believe it or not, professional sport. We have got a busy afternoon for you tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be quite a hectic one. We've got the 3 games of Super Rugby, followed by the 2 matches of the URC. So we're more than likely going to be live on the channel for around that 11 hours or so If the Brumbies win against the Blues and the Chiefs lose to the Satyrs, pretty good buffer for the Brumbies. I know only round 3, but hey, home field advantage given the Brumbies only leave Australia twice. Says Kahu, yeah, like this is where you make, I'd say, those big moments for a side that can confirm a top 8. Definitely if you're a side like the Brumbies are going to be, I believe, top 4. But when you look at a side like the Waratahs, the Reds, the Highlanders, Hurricanes, all those teams, around that top 6, you want to make sure you get in these early bonus points and also early victories because they will be the thing that carries you over. Yes, you can have some great form at the end of a season, and that normally boosts you up to maximum 3 or 4, but you have to win the early games, and it's the sides that start well and end well that normally get themselves those big advantages. We've got there, I have been to that stadium. Oh, okay, Ben Donaldson is actually out, ladies and gentlemen. He has been checked by the HIA medics who have ruled him as not being able to play in this game. So because of that, it means that Max Burry goes into that number 10 jersey for the Western Force, and I assume they've got a different man making his way off the bench. Did you see the Camp Russie announcing? Yes, he has announced quite a large side, and then I think they're doing an online course as well for about 21 overseas internationals too, but this game just about to get underway. The sun is out, so there might be a couple drop balls early from these sides. Definitely, if they're strategic with the high balls, the Western Force, they get us underway, kicking it straight into the sun. Make it difficult for Moana, and a nice take under the high ball from Patrick Pellegrini to start this match off for round 3. Super Rugby Pacific. Do you think the Highlanders Reds, or what do you think of the Highlanders Reds game? I'm excited. See what they can do. I think it was it last year or the year before that they had a really good back and forth contest. In fact, it might have been last year down in Dunedin that those sides had a pretty close one. I think the Reds may have got themselves the win there. Brumbies aren't going to win tomorrow. Who told you that, Kiwi Rob? Was it one of the Blues players, or are you just saying straight off the bat that there's no way that they can lose it? Going hasty away to the right-hand side now. Harry Johnson-Holmes, he scored himself a try last week. The contest for the Western Force. All advantage already going against Moana. Can't afford to be giving away these early penalties too quickly. Little knock-on the ground, so they'll go back for the penalty now. I think Waratahs will get exposed on the road, given they play both games at home. Brumbies have 2 bonus points away wins. Says Kahu. I don't think it's very hard to work out who your side is in Super Rugby, Kahu. It's a little bit similar to the Glasgow Warriors, isn't it? How the side that you do mention consistently are normally your team that you do support. Max Burry into the starting lineup, and the Western Force going aggressive here, kicking towards the corner rather than going for the 3 points. Right. Okay, this is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. So, Ben Donaldson has passed his HIA. So because of that, it now means he can go back out onto the field and replace Max Burry, who will return back to the bench. So obviously he took a nasty knock before the game got underway, but they were confident enough that he would pass. I don't think I can remember a time that we've seen that before. Not recently anyway. But now rolling maul here for the Western Force. They currently find themselves about 8 metres out from the line. Being told to use it once by Paul Williams. This one's going to be dragged down. They might be stuck in there. Yeah, can't get it out for the Western Force. And MOANA Pasifika get themselves a scrum feed. Blues will turn up for Dalton in his 100th game. Says Kiwi Rob. You'd hope so. But it's just always hard to win in Canberra. I think that so many sides found that out last year. But I feel like the Blues did enough good in their game up against the Western Force. They did concede over 30 points, but they did score over 30 themselves as well. So I'll give them a decent chance. Not the NRL incident all over again. No, luckily, unlike that NRL incident, which, by the way, turned into be quite a serious situation, they have instead made sure that he did pass the HIA rather than just firing him out on the field and hoping for the best. When are Sevens playing? Where are they playing? So the next leg of the Sevens is Vancouver. That's taking place next week. Free kick goes the way of MOANA Pasifika. Patrick Pellegrini back in the pocket will boot this one downfield. And just to find the sideline. Black Caps versus England. Yeah, that is taking place at 2:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Must win for the Black Caps. I'm a Pi PM. Or I'm a Pi MP. Says Shane. Right, Donaldson's making his way on now. Also there, Hamish, who do you think will win Black Caps versus England? Who do I think will win or who needs to win? Because to be fair, they might be slightly different. in that case. Ready for this line-out throw for the Western Force. Nicely taken at the front by Franco Molina. Firing it away to the right. Western Force, they haven't actually been outside of the MOANA Pasifika half for this whole match. Now, nice attack and run forward from Donaldson for his first carry. So it's making his way on. Yep, another penalty advantage here for the Western Force. MOANA need to get out of this zone on the field. Hasty goes for the kick in behind. Well covered by MOANA. And that one's going to go dead. Hamish has a week. Been a great game here. Hopefully MOANA can win and go up higher in the rankings and make it a bit more interesting, says Josiah. Yeah, they've got a pretty decent side this year. And I know that that's probably something that not many people were expecting to say this early on. Because, of course, they did lose a lot of players overseas. And they did also lose that game last week quite substantially. But it was more of their experimental team. I think when they put their best on the field and their discipline is on point, that's the other tricky thing. They're just showing a nice back line there. And you see the Proteas winning the T20 World Cup. I think they've got a pretty decent chance. They've looked strong in a majority of their games. They had the easiest Super 8. What, with West Indies, Zimbabwe, and also India, who might get knocked out of the competition. I wouldn't call that very easy at all. I think everyone who's in the Super 8 thoroughly deserved to be there. And I think it's pretty competitive overall with the top 8 sides. And Zimbabwe, yes, they've had a bit of an up and down since joining the group stage, but you know what they've been able to do throughout the tournament is still very impressive. Here comes Darby Lancaster, scores the first try of the contest. A step on the inside from the Western Force winger now. He's only just come back into the side. And he has made the impact straight away. A minor betrayed by RDM management, says Megan. Also, does Yut say Black Cats will win the T20 World Cup? No. But I would be pleasantly surprised if they do. But gut feeling doesn't have them at the moment in the top 2. And I want the first MOANA Pasifika squad there. Great, says Shane. It's a good cross kick from Ben Donaldson, so he'll be more than happy that he made his way back out onto the field. What do you think about Aidan Markram's captaincy? He seems to do all right. I like him just as an opener. I don't really spot a huge amount of what he does as captain. I just like watching him bat. I think he's got one of the best cover drives in all the world cricket. But, yeah, in terms of the captaincy side of things, I don't know if he's good. I don't know if he's bad. I've only heard him say about one sentence in my whole life, so I assume he's going all right. They're winning games. So that's the main thing. Now hooking that one around. Ben Donaldson does get it over. And that is now going to make the score 7-0 in favour of the Western Force. We have got there, come on, MOANA 0-5, says Josiah. And come on, Hamish, don't underestimate the Black Cats, says Dawny Edits. I'd rather be proved wrong than have people consistently telling me how wrong I was. We've done YouTube for long enough to be completely sick of that. So, I say the Black Cats will do well, and then they lose a game, and everyone comes in and goes, oh, you were completely wrong. What a terrible prediction that was. It's just easier to say that they might do all right and then be pleasantly surprised. That's going to be another penalty. This time against the Western Force, though. This goes against Hamish Stewart. It's going to be for obstruction. I'd like to see MOANA kick for the corner here rather than going for the 3 points, and that looks exactly what Patrick Pellegrini's going to do. It's a good kick towards the sideline. Just ends up going out. MOANA begins back. I know you don't like the Black Cats, so why am I going to watch them play later this year, Padza? I guess to boo them, right? Now ready to throw this one in is Sanarevi. This is going to be a good chance for MOANA to be able to get straight back into this contest. They've got some very dangerous try scorers in their side, taken at the front by one of them, Miracle Faialangi. That one dragged down. This ball might not come out. I think Western Force might have just about trapped this one. No, it is now available for Jonathan Tamatine. Now going back across the Nalila Mape. In the middle of the field here, quick pick and go from Tito Tuipilotu. 5 metres out from the line for MOANA. That looks like a big knock. Oh no, in fact there's going to be the advantage in favour of the for MOANA. It almost looked like a big knock on from MOANA, but it must have come off a knee or something with the way that the ball dropped. But the ball is available for Tom Savage on the short side. Looking for the steal. Oh, a little bit of a fumble from Tamatine. Sits up for Samisi Tupo Taialoa though. Currently up to 7 phases in a row. Matt Henry is a wolf. Lockie Ferguson is a tank, says Dawny Edits. Oh, they're going back for the penalty now. And Nutty short ball, says Mega. And also we have got the Alamapi on the crash, says Shane. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one big moment for Nutty Laumape of this season. And, you know, he's going to have a lot of them, but that first big barnstorming run that everyone goes, that's why he signed for MOANA Pasifika here. That crash ball specialist. Looks like, again, we are going to see another line out here for MOANA Pasifika. Currently 7-0 after the 9 minutes in this matchup. And MOANA finally getting some territory in this game. Going in, taken. Oh, no, not taken cleanly by Tom Savage. He was thrown up and now kicked downfield from Nathan Hasty. That one hasn't found touch, though. Not back from Tavita Offa. We're in the bright pink headgear for this contest. Trying to step through, but well and truly isolated. Hamish Stewart just not quite able to get that turnover. From where is the Barbarians? They're from absolutely everywhere. So it's just pretty much made up of players from all around the globe. They don't normally have specifically one region covered. Carlo Tizzano knocked out of there in the breakdown. Kyle Jameson was so good at their Black Cats. He is so good at that game. And now he is a fraud for the Black Cats. He's doing the edits. I feel like that comment alone shows exactly why I don't say the Black Caps are going to win the World Cup. Because remember a few weeks ago when you're saying Kyle Jameson, the best thing since sliced bread, and now you hate him. So it's like you really can't win. There's one player I do not like. And he plays for the Force. I assume that is straight away Darcy Swain because of what he did to Quinn Tupaia. And Kyle Jameson sucks. Says BTW Panzer. Now going back across. That one's going to be kicked downfield. Nicely taken. Patrick Pellegrini going off to the left-hand side. Almost sneaking through there for Glenn Vaihu. Now back across. Sanarevi. Patrick Pellegrini and a nice skip pass on the outside. Natalie Mape tries to find the answer to Veta Offer, but it's knocked on. Yes, correct. Says Jasmine. And who will win, says Sebastian? It's a hard one. The slight favourites for this match were MOANA Pasifika. But at the same time, it's honestly 50-50 for these two sides. The Western Force are coming off 2 losses, but they're a decent team. And they've got a pretty good squad. So if they just get a few more things right throughout this match, they probably could get their first victory of the year. MOANA have to be careful. They've already given away multiple penalties. You know anything about NBA? Not at all. I don't think I can name you 5 players in the NBA currently. And I love hearing your sweet, sweet commentary voice again. Says G Unit, and we've got plenty more coming up this weekend. We've got the 5 matches of Super Rugby tomorrow, as well as 3 of Super Rugby, 2 of the URC. And MOANA are strong enough for me, says Quandele. Yeah, that's another collapsing in the front row. I think that MOANA, their discipline is the big difference between winning and losing. Currently, they're giving away a couple early penalties. It's whether or not they get the cards, though, because that can just completely change the way that they play. They're actually their most dangerous, though, throughout the first 20 minutes. And they've scored 26 of their points, whereas across all of the other 60 minutes of a game, they've only scored 24 in total from their matches so far. So they're quick starters, and that's where the Western Force have been quite smart with how they've played this one. They've tried to stop MOANA from having a huge amount of possession, take their opportunities to gain the territory as well. What game Sunday, says Mohadeen. So Sunday, or that will be Saturday for you, but that is the Bulls versus Sharks and Stormers versus Lions. Going off to the left-hand side now, moving it across field. George Bridge goes to Darby Lancaster again. He breaks his way through. Tell you what, they might not catch him if he cuts at the right angle. No, he's going to be cut off. Tries to offload it. Jeremy Williams drops the ball. Back up to Samisi Tupo Taialoa around the halfway line now for MOANA Pasifika. Passed across to Narila Mape. Put it on the outside. Solomon Alai Marlow goes back into Patrick Pellegrini. Looks for the off, but they're just running out of space there on the far side. The ball is still on the side of MOANA Pasifika, though. Jonathan Tamatine bounced past Alan Craig. Not exactly what a lock wants to be receiving, but he'll still take it nicely. Now Chris Apua. Sort of not too far out from the line now. Passed on the outside to Vita Offa. He needs to offload that, but instead decides to take the contact. Back across. Tito Tuipalotu. Working the breakdown, protecting that ball from the veteran Savage. Now, Miracle Whaialangi, 2-man tackle on him, and it's going to be a penalty against the MOANA Pasifika player for getting up and going again after being held. We have got Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira next week. Going to be a good fight. Yeah, that should be fight of the night before they even step in the cage. If it's anything based off the way that they've fought throughout their whole careers. Ben Donaldson will be able to kick this one towards the touchline, though. We have got Bon Jr. Is it Bon Jr. or Bonjour? And there, he's got Pharrell. And how are you? I'm worried about to write an exam now. Just wanted to say hi. I'll be back later. Well, good luck with your exam. Hopefully it all goes well. Irish crowd, please. Says, by the way, Padza. And yeah, about the games on Sunday. It's actually interesting for us here in New Zealand. Other than that Sunday morning, we haven't got that Sunday afternoon game like last week. We saw Crusaders versus Brumbies, and we haven't got a Monday morning game in the Six Nations like we've seen the few weeks prior. Junior, it's time when I change my name. Says Junior there. I'll try my best to remember it then. I'll just read the second half. Now, Sanarevi goes in. Taken again here by Moana Pasifika. Lockie Ferguson should easily eat Harry Brook if he is starving. I don't know if that sentence sounds as good as you think it does, Tawny Edits. I'll be honest. It sounds a bit interesting. That's for sure. Now that one's going to be kicked downfield from Moana Pasifika. Can you do the cricket game? South Africa versus Zimbabwe. That one's taken place after the games in New Zealand's group, isn't it? Hi, I'm just about to divorce my wife. Just wanted to say hi, but I'll be back later. Good luck, I guess. Hopefully it goes smoothly. Does she know it's coming, or is it a surprise divorcing? Hi, Nathan Hasty downfield. And that's an awkward bouncing ball. It's going to be knocked on by Moana. Equalizes picks it up round halfway. Already 15 minutes through this contest. Hasty goes short side. That's Bailey Quinzel. That kind of looked like a number 17 on his back, but it is the number 11 drop ball from Robertson, picked up by Harry Johnson-Holmes. I'm about to marry your wife. Just wanted to say hi. So here's Magamari. You got to wait until she's divorced, though. You can't get in too quickly. There's a bit of a process. Now, kicked high. Nicely taken by Patrick Pellegrini. And Sunday by me, if possible, says Mahadim. We'll wait to find out what's happening in the morning, because if it's Sunday by you, it'll be Monday morning by me. So normally those games are... Oh. Is he all right there, Jeremy Williams? I think he took a bit of a shoulder to the head there in the breakdown. Cross kick attempted by Patrick Pellegrini. Goes out to Solomon Alai Marlow. Kicks it downfield after just about getting round Lancaster, but they'll go back for the penalty again. Right, sounds like Harry Johnson-Holmes. Right, Jeremy Williams is just talking to the referee there, Paul Williams, and saying, hey, I got hit in the side of the head. Can we, maybe check that? I'm about to donate my wife. Just wanted to say hi. Donate my wife. It could mean very different things. Patrick Pellegrini. Again, we'll look towards that sideline. We are still within that period where Moana have scored themselves 26 points so far throughout the Super Rugby Pacific season. That has been from the first 20 minutes of their games. But we're slowly working towards that middle patch where over the next 40 minutes after the first 20, Moana have only scored 12 points. So they start fast, they end fast, but that middle patch is where it's really a struggle for them. You haven't streamed in a long time? It's only been 5 days. That's actually slightly shorter because we had a Sunday game on the channel. In fact, it's been less than that because we had the Monday game, didn't we? So it's actually only been 4 days since the last live stream. Now going off to the right-hand side, Nani Laumape. And that ball up hit hard by Carlo Tazzano and a new penalty advantage in favour of Moana Pasifika. Samisi Tupotailoa trying to spin out of that challenge. Hi, everybody, says Bruce. Oh, clapping his hands there. Jonathan Tamatini wanting that ball to come out in quick succession here. Now Lalomilo dragged down in the middle of the field by Jeremy Williams, the skipper for the Force. And they'll go back for the penalty again. This has been a lot of early penalties against both of these sides throughout this matchup. Now there's again the decision for Moana. I think they have to keep on being aggressive. Are you streaming on Saturday? Yes. So Saturday's tomorrow. So we've got 3 matches of Super Rugby, 2 matches of the URC coming Sunday morning too. 4 days is far too long to wait. Who am I to stare at for that time? Says BTW, did you build a mansion? I did not. No mansions being built. Take a long time to build a mansion though. Miracle Langi. It was actually the penalty in the air. Darcy Swain playing at the arms. Now 10 metres out from the line once more. Sanarevi with the line out. They did have a bit of a mistake last line out down this part of the field for Moana Pasifika. This time they take it cleanly. Looking for this rolling maul. Hi brother, my wife Priscilla. And I love your commentary. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Christopher. It's greatly appreciated you popping in for this stream as well. Now this one's moving for Moana. Break it. Oh, that was almost... Oh, that is too easy. Scores the try there, Sanarevi. I don't know who he just bumped off. He got rid of him. Well and truly there. We have got there, do you stream NRL? I actually want to this year because we are going to be doing the Rugby League World Cup. We did the Pacific Nations Cup, or Pacific Championship, I should say. We did cover last year for the International. Absolutely loved it. So, yeah, anytime that we get a little bit of a free patch, I'm hoping to do a couple games of the NRL along the way. He hates NRL. I don't. I do thoroughly enjoy it. And still Nil says, oh, but not anymore. Sanarevi goes over and scores himself the try there. Yeah, just bumped off someone a little bit too easily. Defensively, yeah, Bailey Quinzel actually broke his own ankles trying to tackle Sanarevi. Hardly even got a hand on him. Smash Swain for Tapia. Says Shane, and good morning, says Martin. And also we have got the Knights versus Cowboys and Bulldogs versus Dragons. What's your prediction, says K Slade? Well, yeah, because they're playing Sunday this week, aren't they? I believe that one's gone over. And that is going to make the score now 7-all between these two sides. We have got their morning warm-up Cape Town, or warm calm Cape Town in there. Coaching tomorrow morning, yep. So we won't be able to do those early URC matches that are taking place, but a great finish there from Sanarevi. Oh, okay, that was an interesting one. There was a bit of a collision there between two players as they went for the ball, but it is going to be a knock-on against Moana. Now scrum feed for the Western Force Pacifica Tana's team. They are indeed, yes. There's not a huge amount of people in the embankment in the background, unfortunately. And Moana Pasifika are looking to win 3 consecutive home matches for the first time ever, is the stat that has just come up there. I'm going with Hamish. The cricket is getting exciting now, says Ruth. And 77, says The Hobbit. Close game between these two sides currently. 21 minutes in to the matchup. Right, both sides have fired early, says Paul Williams. Are you doing bowling tomorrow? Bowling coach Hamish? They will be bowling, yep. They've got 24 overs worth of bowling to get through. Which will probably be about the equivalent of 30 overs because there's normally a few wides along the way. They're just saying there that there is a chance maybe that Moana could get a scrum penalty here. I have Miracle Langi, Patrick Pellegrini, Carlo Tazano in my fantasy. NRL starts Sunday, Arvo. So here's Kiwi Rob. That one's going to go down in the front. And a penalty to Moana Pacific. To the Western Force at scrum time. I actually thought that one might have gone the other way. But the Force have managed to get that penalty for themselves. It's a kickable 3. But I think once again they may look towards the corner. And this is a bold choice. Because we're going to see here the scrum from the Western Force. I assume that's because their last line out got dragged down and they couldn't get the ball out maybe. But it seems like an interesting choice. Obviously they feel like they're getting the better of the scrum battle here. But as one of the commentators alluded to, it actually seems like the Western Force are one moment away from getting penalised at scrum time. Does Hamish like vroom vroom? Depends on what vroom vroom refers to. Afternoon, Hamish, says Daniel. Welcome in. Doing extremely well. And we have got their Western Force needing to pick themselves up. Pacifica could surprise them, says Ruth. Now the big push there at scrum time from Moana Pasifika. They win the penalty. And that is why I had no idea why the Western Force were going for the scrum again. And they probably got lucky to win that last scrum penalty. They doubled down and decided to just give it straight back to Moana. The Chiefs need D-Mac for better score result. Says Hobbit. They're doing all right without him for now, although there will become a time where I'm sure they like the idea of having McKenzie back in that 10 jersey, although do you put him back at 10? Where do you put Jacob in that case? Does he just go to the bench? Or there's a few big decisions that need to be made. Well done, Force. Thank you for the scrum. Says BTW Padsa, aka F1 Supercars, IndyCars. I don't really watch a huge amount of them. There was a patch where I watched like 2 or 3 rounds of the F1, but then that was about it. With D-Mac, they lose, says Shane. Harry Johnson-Holmes frustrated with that one. It's going to be another line out for Moana, but the line out is unsuccessful. Nicely claimed by the Western Force against the throw. Hamish Stewart looking to boot this one down the middle of the field. Points. Says, but it's a great kick, and it's a 50-22 from Hamish Stewart there. So it will give them the line out that they could have had a lot earlier, although this looks like an injury here for Nick Dolly. Keep a close eye on him. It's like the right leg, maybe. A Moana scrum is strong. Says Quandilla. Yeah, they got a really good shove in there. Without, I meant. Says Shane. Wait, so without D-Mac, they lose. But currently, the way the table sits, they're sitting 2 wins from 2 without him. Nick Dolly looks like... He seems like he's going to continue, but he doesn't look like he's too flash at the moment, Nick Dolly. He's had 5 tries throughout his 14 matches. Their line-out's not good, says Quandile. A mistake from Moana, says Quandile there too. Yeah, it seems to be for Moana, and it's been a consistent feature of their game. They have either a strong scrum or a strong line-out. They don't seem to have too often where it's both, and it can make it very difficult for them. So far, time in opposition 22, 2 minutes 23 for Moana, but a lot of this game feels like it's now being played down this end of the field, and Moana only tackling at 64%. It'd end up being a bit of a tricky one later on. Nice take from Darcy Swain, 15 metres out from the line now. So Western Force start to get their rolling maul slightly moving, although Moana doing a good job of keeping it stagnant. Big shot on Chris. Boy, that's going to be a penalty. Taking the quick tap there, Nathan Hasty. One of the new rules that they brought in for Super Rugby this year, or one of the new laws, was the fact that you can take the quick taps. I believe it's within a metre of the mark. Does bring a little bit more quick fire to the game of super opportunities. Amise Tupo Taya. That's now another mistake from the Western. You're streaming tomorrow, so we have got the 4:30 p.m. game taking place between the Fijian Draw and the Hurricanes. There's the 7:05 p.m. game between the not the Western Force, the Chiefs and the Crusaders. We've got the game after that. Then there is the 2 URC games, both taking place throughout the middle of the night. Bulls versus Sharks and Stormers versus Games. MOANA Pasifika, says Martin. A 3:15 kickoff Sunday afternoon for the Knights versus Cow. Conceded more penalties than Moana in this contest. Now this one's going to be kicked high. Six Nations over. It is not. There is just a bye week. So they've got this week off and then they come back. That's a dirty shot there on Patrick Pellegrini. But yeah, they've got the bye week this week, no games, and then 2 weeks in a row, the last 2 rounds. So it is still happening. Big knock on there. I think that is the mistake from Tavita. Offa slams the ball out of frustration. He shouldn't be that frustrated yet, though, because, of course, Moana do now have a scrum. They have to try and steal. I'll be at the Chiefs game with my cowbell, says Jasmine. And Hamish looking awesome again. Mustache is cool, says Ruth. Just showing Western Force versus MOANA Pasifika playing last year. And an incredible game. And Ben Donaldson, he scored that last-minute try to win the Western Force the game. Slow score rate in MotoGP this weekend. Thailand practices 1.5 hours time, says Bruce. But yeah, 45-44 the score the last time these two sides played. So it's a little bit surprising that after 27 minutes we are only sitting 7-all. But that's just down to handling errors, I would say, and a few penalties at the wrong time of both of these sides. Right, the ball's available there for the Western Force. Hamish Stewart hits it up 15 metres out from the try line. Equalizes. Tamatine almost getting into the breakdown for the steal there. Just couldn't quite lock his hands over the ball. Carlo Tazzano Set up for one of his first carries of the contest. Going away to Stewart once more on the left-hand side. Hasty. Looking off to Franco Molina. Now pick and go again. Hasty wrestled down. Still want that steal there. MOANA Pasifika. I think I heard advantage. Yes, I did. Paul Williams. Let's have the advantage in play here. And ding, ding, ring that bell. Says Roof. Oh, ball's stolen, but they'll go back for the penalty again. It's 13 blue. So that is going to be against Lalo Melo. Right, what do you do now if you're the Western Force? It's got to be a kick for the corner, I feel. Even though they had that mistake off line out, I think you still go for that more so than a scrum here. Hurricane's going to bring the heat to Fiji. Cross fingers. See Shane, is Will Jordan playing? He is playing tomorrow. He's going head deal with the Tenai Nana Setsuro in the 15 battle. Should be a good one. And who's that huge, strong-shouldered bowler for the West Indies? Shepherd, he's good. Says Ruth. Yeah, Romario Shepherd. He got himself a 50, didn't he? The most recent game. Also has got a hat-trick in this World Cup as well. Now this one's moving nicely. Western Force. Mick Dolly spins off the back. Looks for the offload to Lancaster. He's an elusive player and hard to put down. Now Tazano round the side of the breakdown. Medical Fire Lungi. The man who drags him down. Oh, Ekuasi. Oh, he's on top of Chris Apua there. I managed to get the ball back out the back of the ruck, though, without any sort of penalty. That looked a little bit high from Jonathan Tamatena. He gets onto the ball straight away. He might have got the steal there for Moana. No, the ball pops back out on the side of the Western Force. Harry Johnson-Holmes. He gets held up over the breakdown there. Ball's still available. Hasty. It looks like they're going to use their back line, or are they? They look to the short side instead, off to Dolly. Big hard collision with Solomon Alaimalo. Moana defending like this game depends on it now. Still 7-7. Still no penalty advantage either. Oh, there they go. They've given it away now, Moana. They were doing well defensively. Just to then say to the Western Force, you guys keep on attacking for that little bit longer. Hamish Stewart looked a little bit hesitant in terms of his decision-making there. Now Hasty. Back across Ben Donaldson. He's one of the best when it comes to getting those cross kicks right. Instead, just, oh, that's poor from Moana, leaving a gap that was absolutely huge. George Bridge scores the try. He gets smashed in the goal line for his troubles. But Moana leaving a huge gap for Bridge to run through. And a bit of a casual finish from Bridge as well. Didn't hear the Moana player running up behind him. They may just check the grounding here. We'll see whether or not. Yeah, it's just a missed tackle. And then big shot from Tavita Offa inside of the in-goal area. And who's that cricket player who uses a wooden bat at a ball, says Jason. I'd say it's probably MOANA. Has he dropped this, George Bridge? Okay, they're claiming it quickly, saying he's got it down, but he does drop that ball in the process of scoring there, George Bridge. I think they've said it's still under control, though. But that was almost a huge mistake from George Bridge. Oh, double blow the whistle. They are going to check this. They are going to have a check just to make sure. Right, they're officially checking this. If George Bridge has knocked this on, the Force will not be happy one bit. Knock on for sure. I'm watching the game. I'm not watching the game, says Sports. This might be really bad for George Bridge here. With a finishing rate like this, the Crusaders won't be too quick to get him back in. Watching. I think he's knocked that on there, George Bridge. Is there just enough clear separation? Yeah, I think they might call this a knock on. You bet the referee and touch judges do it, says Clifford. How do you make a mistake like that as a professional rugby player? Right, they've still got the penalty, so it's not the end of the world. Moana still will be defending 5 metres out from their line, but that's absolute rookie stuff from George Bridge right there. Hamish in chat says, hey, no, welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Our Force fans are probably saying bloody Kiwi, says Vic. And wasn't All Black. He was. And I mean, fair play to Tavita Offa for chasing him down and trying to stop him from scoring, which in the end did cost George Bridge. Right, they're going to kick this one for the corner. What a horrible decision, says Ano. Like, as in, like, you would have awarded the knock-on as a try? Or, like, a horrible decision from George Bridge to score so casually. Whose ball now? It is still the Western Forces. They had the penalty advantage 5 metres out from the opposition line, so they will still have another attacking opportunity and will probably score that try that George Bridge should have. Now thrown into the front. Franco Molina transfers the ball now to Carlo Tizzano. Bit of side shuffling going on for the Force there. Chris Apua looking for the steal, can't get it. I don't think he lost total control of the ball. Total control. So he did lose control. Oh, now is he? No, he's 1 metre short for George Bridge. But either way, they've got over now. It's a finish from the Force this time. It is Darcy Swain who manages to score the try that Bridge could have had. Was it that animal with 4 legs called? Says Jason. You have to be more specific, Jason. I hear there's like 1 or 2 that have 4 legs. He will pay it back. Yeah, he almost scored it about a minute later for Bridge. He was through the gap that time. Just couldn't quite finish it off. And then a good one from Darcy Swain. Now, if we're being critical here, he should be all right there, Darcy Swain. Lost a bit of control, but he's still in control of it with his hands still on the ball. Says Haino. Yeah, see, it hasn't cost them. They've scored it anyway. I'd say with the fact that he should have put it down without worrying about anyone getting anywhere near him, it's his own fault. Whether it was a try or not, and it was ruled as no try, but the thing is, the best way to avoid the TMO checking something is to just put it down the first time rather than being dumb and not putting it down when you're in the in-goal area. Like, there was nothing that George Bridge could actually gain by running forward more. He almost got pushed dead in the tackle as well. So, it didn't cost them. They scored the try, but for a player who's been around for a long time, that was one of the dumbest things I think I've ever seen George Bridge do. And now this one's going to be kicked downfield. Nice take from the Western Force inside of their own 22 with Hamish Stewart running it up. Being told to use it now. Nathan Hasty. One's going to be kicked downfield. Now nice take. I'm back across to the right-hand side. Patrick Pellegrini going to go for the high ball. Davida Offa charging after this one. Big 2-man tackle there. Oh, I see number 20 is on the field here for Moana. I'm not actually sure who that's for yet. I think it might be Samisi Paya. Maybe go Moana. But a tiny bit of Aroa for the Force since I done demolition work over there in that scorching heat. I love it when an Australian team loses. Well, at the moment, they're winning. 14 points to 7. And definite, if All Blacks don't make the 2027 Rugby World Cup final, that will be a referee by a New Zealander. So you're thinking Ben O'Keefe or Paul Williams? I get Swain and stop Tizzano, says Shane. Now Patrick Pellegrini kicking this one downfield. Nicely taken inside of the 22 by the Force. 35 minutes through at the moment and just the 3 tries throughout this first half. Now running it forward once more. I'm still trying to work out who's actually off the field for Moana. I don't see Samisi Tupotaeloa, or at least I haven't for a little while here. There could be a chance that it is him. I don't need to go Moana part. Didn't I? Wait, where is it? Oh, the first go. I think did I not say go Moana at the start? And then a tiny bit. I might not have said come on Moana at the end, maybe. Might have been the part that I missed. But I'm sure I said the first part. The game is not done, says Martin, who scored for Moana. So far, we've seen the 1 try, and that was by Sanarevi, who managed to score it. Run forward from Molina. Has just knocked that ball on the ground, so it will be the scrum feed for Moana now. And all our mate says Nazi, and also Western Force came back, woke up, says Ruth. All right, Samisi Tupotaeloa is still out there. I'm looking around. It's either Whailangi or Paya. Matupo Afangia has got his debut here I think that's Miracle Whailangi on the far side. So I think that's for Samisi Paya, who was actually out last week due to a late change. So I wonder whether or not he still had a bit of an injury that he was dealing with. Moana must run like in 7. Says Martin. And who's in possession how far from the opposition line, says Josiah. So the ball's with the MOANA Pasifika side, and they are currently 45 metres out from their own line. The one's going to be fed in. Going off to the left-hand side, short side for Solomon Alai Marlo. Went for the kick in behind. Oh, he wants to take it quickly too. Nanila Mape wasn't ready for it though. They also did take the throw ahead of the mark. I think they will go back. It wasn't Moana a kid's movie. It was. Oh yeah, no, it came off the hand of Darby Lancaster there. Then was far too in front of the mark for Solomon Alai Marlo. Happy Friday, Hamish, says Broderick. Yeah, it's been a quick week. All of a sudden, rugby back for the weekend. Nice take there from Alan Craig. El Tamatine, 2.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Moana want a decent chance of winning this game. I feel like another try soon would be quite handy. They definitely want to make sure that they aren't down by too much heading into the final moments of the second half. Another knock on. This time it's Solomon Alai Marlo once more. Thanks, Donaldson. This might be a 50-22. If the ball bounces well, it's going to be bouncing awkwardly. Pellegrini ready to take it. Oh, that's just late from Donaldson there. Bit of a cheap shot for the second time on the MOANA Pasifika number 10. Now kick downfield again. Waiting for it. Patrick Pellegrini. He'll be ready to kick this one. He knows that the late shot's coming. Well, if they did hit him with that one, they would have been about 3 seconds late. They made contact. So who's going to win this year Six Nations? Probably France. I would say, with the fact that they're sitting 3 wins from 3 with bonus points in hand, it would take quite the upset for them to not win. Even with a loss, I think they've still done enough points differential and bonus point-wise. Kicked him behind from the Western Force. That one's in the in-goal area for Pellegrini. Forces it down with a goal line dropout. And we have got the come on Moana, says Josiah, and also MOANA Pasifika. I must get a try now, please, says Martin. Although they're making hard work of it. It is going to be probably the Western Force with the last attack of the first half. And we have there MOANA Pasifika will grow second half. Miracles and flashness, says Shane. Kick downfield from Pellegrini. Taking around the halfway line. Ben Donaldson goes across to Ekuasi. He will start to run this one forward. About 30 metres out from the line now for the Force. Franco Molina. Donaldson, quick hands to George Bridge. Bumps off Lalomilo. Oh, almost a steal. No, penalty goes against Moana. Okay, player hasn't rolled quick enough there. We have got the Force Sucks Josiah, and also Moana must get a try. And also no try, says Josiah. Only 8 penalties against MOANA Pasifika in this first half. There was a time when it was 6-5 in the penalty count, so they have given away the last 3 penalties. MOANA Pasifika made a bit of a difference. Abraham Polly, the man who got penalised for not quite rolling quick enough there. And we have with there, Donaldson has been quiet so far, says Ruth. 5 seconds left on the clock. Good chance for the Force to finish this one off. And come on, Moana, says Oram. If they want a good chance of winning here, they have to make sure they defend this play from the Force. Going off left. Hasty to Donaldson in the middle of the field. This is normally when Carlo Tazzano comes into play here. Like first, Moana have to make a couple tackles on the backs. Now Hasty going round the side. Darcy Swain has another good crack. Carlo Tazzano, couple metres short for the Force again. Now Hamish Stewart inside pass. Franco Molina. Pick and go again. Round the side. And that's a new advantage now against MOANA Pasifika. Carlo Tazzano tries to stretch. Oh, tell you what, he's only about half a metre now. Hasty looking for his option. Looks like George Bridge wants to score, and he now does. No knock on there. And he runs over the top of Nari Laumape to be able to do it. I'm going to the Chiefs game tomorrow. It should be a really good game, hopefully. And it'll be interesting to see what the Crusaders do in that contest, predominantly because they've had 2 losses already. How many minutes? That is now half time in this contest. So scoring right on the verge of the halftime siren there for the Western Force. And George Bridge goes over. And come on, MOANA Pasifika, give us a try. Keep Desano on the ground using behind. Says Shane. We have got there. Your eyes look glassy, Hamish. Are you under the influence of something currently? No, I'm just sick of you, Jason. That's the main gist of it. But now, chance here to be able to line up the posts for Ben Donaldson. And George Bridge powerful, says Ruth. These have all been around the same area for Ben Donaldson. And that one's gone over the Chiefs. So, is Chiefs only team that didn't lose any game? No. We've seen the Brumbies. They have managed to win both their games so far. In fact, here's the table. So the Brumbies are undefeated. The Waratahs are undefeated. The Chiefs are undefeated. And then also the Hurricanes are undefeated, even though they've only played one game. So, they are one game in hand compared to everyone else, but they still have not lost a game. So 4 teams currently undefeated in the Super Rugby competition. Western Force and Moana have both suffered a loss, but if the Force win this game, then it is only the Fijian draw, the Reds, and the Crusaders who haven't won a game this year. Now, all the sides are, of course, playing in this round. So there's a chance that everyone at least has 1 win, 1 loss by the end of this round. And we have got there, Hamish, your sense of humour is fabulous. Says Ruth, what's the score? The score is now 21 points to 7 at the moment. A morning image, says Kyle. And also we have got their Tana must talk hard at halftime, says Martin. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Moana, even in their game up against the Hurricanes, when they lost by a big margin, they started the match well. And it's just one of those ones that they haven't got off to the same flying start that they would have liked to at all. But they've only scored 24 points in the 60 minutes after the first 20 in their matches. We have got their Moana sucks. They did well, though. They won up against the Fijian draw in Fiji. That's something that not too many sides have been able to say, although the Hurricanes, of course, would like to say it tomorrow. By this time in 24 hours, we have got their MOANA Pasifika second wind. Time, come on, lift, says Shane. And also we have got their Hamish Western Force second half pulling away, says Ruth. Yeah, at the moment they are in a comfortable position. Theoretically, they're 1 try away from a bonus point here. But, of course, that can all change if Moana then score and bring it back that little bit. It's the first of 2 games that has taken place today, ladies and gents. The next game is the Reds taking on the Highlanders. But for these 2 sides, they have got a busy month ahead. 4 games for MOANA Pasifika throughout March, including their next game up against the Chiefs, followed by the Blues, then the Crusaders, and then the Highlanders. So 4 New Zealand matches for for MOANA Pasifika over the next 4 weeks. Western Force, you got the Highlanders as their next week's game. They've got the Hurricanes and they've got the Chiefs. So for both of these teams throughout March, they only play New Zealand-based teams. 2 home games for the Force and 1 away. 2 away games and 1 at home. And then for Moana, it is 2 away and then 2 at home up against the South Island sides. Chiefs playing next week. Says Mohadeen. Yes, I believe so. Did we just say who they're playing? Yeah, they've got MOANA Pasifika in 1 week's time. That is going to be the Friday night fixture. So, yeah, they are in action not too long in the future. In fact, these are all of the games for anyone wondering about what is coming up in the next round. 8 on Reds against Islanders next. That is the plan. Yep, so starting that one at 9:30. So in around an hour and 35 minutes time for that contest, which hopefully will be a decent game. It's very hard to tell, although I believe last year it was last year, wasn't it, that the Highlanders lost in Dunedin against the Reds. I'm going to have a quick look and make sure. I think it was a close game in the end. One that the Highlanders did suffer the defeat in. 29-23 it was in the end for that one. And there was the try for Filipa Dungunu in the 70th minute. In fact, at halftime, they were 17 points to 12 down. The Reds went on to then win with 3 tries in the second half. Usually, I get a small chubby watching Rugger Not Today, says Nick. Is that as in the games that are here, Nick? You're not enjoying the MOANA Pasifika Western Force one? The Reds versus Highlanders should be a decent enough game to get the blood flowing per se. My fantasy team is doing so bad, and who do the Blitzbox play? They've done the draw for Vancouver, but I can't remember who it is. I took it a long time ago. But it would be, I think, by now on the World Sevens website. We have got there, please tell my players to lock in for fantasy, says Highlanders. Who did you pick in this one, Highlanders fan? And that's just Hamish. It's okay. We like looking at him. See VTW Padza. Well, see, this is an interesting step. Well, the Force win their first match in New Zealand since 2022. And I guess in that case, they're counting MOANA Pasifika as the same as the other New Zealand sides. But it would be a big accomplishment for this Western Force team, and they thoroughly deserve it at the moment, the way that they've played throughout that first half. There were a few handling errors along the way, and there were a few penalties against both of these sides. But the Force at the moment tackling at 86% compared to 71% for MOANA Pasifika. Are you calling the Reds game? We certainly are. And that one's going to be starting in about an hour and a half's time. Chiefs or Crusaders tomorrow, Hamish. I got Chiefs 40 points to 20. Says Fortnite NBA. And in my team, I've got 7 Force, 8 MOANA Pasifika, 10 MOANA Pasifika, 15 Force. Okay, so you got Greeley, you've got Donaldson, you got Equalizes. Oh, no, sorry, you got the other way around. You got Patrick Pellegrini in there and Samisi Tupatailoa. Just showing some of the highlights of the first half, though. Donaldson with all the kicks going over for for Western Force. Territory 59% in favour of MOANA as well. Did New Zealand get a coach yet? Nope, not yet. They are still waiting. And also we'll get there no damn tomorrow for the Chiefs. Crusaders are going to do it. Yeah, see, it's a tricky one because the Chiefs have looked good throughout their first 2 matches. So if they continue playing the way that they have, they should win. Definitely if the Crusaders play like they did up against the Brumbies. And there, we've got a hand from Jason. And we have got there how Highlanders not favourites tonight. Says Highlanders fan because they're playing at Suncorp. And they did lose to the Reds last year. I think did they lose the year prior as well? I don't think the Highlanders have the greatest winning record against the Reds at the moment. So that's probably why, I would say. The year prior at Suncorp, they lost 31-0 to the Reds. The year prior to that, though, in 2023, they did beat them. 35 points to 30 in Dunedin. And then the year prior to that, they did beat them at Suncorp. So they've lost the last 2. We have got there, what time are you getting up and having dinner? We have got there, report logged to YouTube. What does that even mean, Jason? I don't know what that means. We didn't score the year prior, and also knock, says Ruth. And Jason, you good, says BTW Padza. Meters gained at the moment, 176. Moment for this Western Force side. It just seems like the rolling maul can be extremely dangerous for MOANA. They haven't been able to use it too often in this match as of yet. But it's somewhere where the powerful forwards normally get something going for MOANA. We haven't seen a huge amount of Miracle Whailangi in this game either as of yet. When does Chiefs get Damian McKenzie back, says Fortnite NBA. I think he's going to be back next week by the sounds of it. Are you doing the rugby game? What's the rugby game, Mohadeen? Can I ask when Chiefs get Cortez Ratama back? He's now on paternity leave as well. So he'll probably be out this week and maybe next week. So yeah, they've lost their 9 and 10 combination both to having babies at this point in time for the Chiefs. Can MOANA come back? I don't think they're down by far enough that they don't have a comeback as an option. But at the same time, I would say they need to score first. Or else we'll see the Western Force just slowly kind of control this one. The Bath game, we're not doing the Bath game, no. Did you see the Reds scoring a lot? I think they've got a side that can score tries. There's no denying that, but it's whether or not they find their momentum early. And the Highlanders haven't looked too bad in their first games of the Super Rugby contest. So, close game with the Chiefs, close game with the Crusaders. 1 win, 1 loss. It means I used the report option, says Jason. And what did you report, Jason, in the end, other than yourself? We have got there, I got Aiden Ross to get a try. says Fortnite NBA, and you think the Reds will beat the Highlanders? Last year they did. The year prior they did. But then before that, we saw the Highlanders win 2 games in a row. So I think it's going to be another close one, like what we saw between Highlanders Crusaders and like 26-23. Comments. Like, you reported your own comments? I report you, Hamish, if you don't do the Bath game. I don't even know who Bath are playing. And why not Chiefs at home? Says Fortnite. Now, second half just about to get underway. A bit silly reporting yourself. And bro, what do you think of the Bok newbies who got called up to the alignment camp? Hopefully they do end up going all right. Like, the thing is, they've currently got a squad of about 75 players by the sounds of it, in terms of the international guys who are also going in for the opportunity for a bit of a camp. So some of them may never get that call up, but at the same time, like, to be in that environment, you know that you're only a couple injuries away. And we have got there, so cool to see Damian McKenzie as a dad, a top man and player, says Moa. And I reported the stream. Says Jason, what did you report it for, Jason, other than not getting enough attention? We have got there, I don't know. I'm thinking Crusaders need to prove themselves, says Ruth. And these baby factories going to cost the Chiefs. Crusaders will turn up in Hamilton, says Shane. And you just know that if they do end up losing that game, the Chiefs, like, and it's a close one, that's what's going to get blamed, with the fact that McKenzie's not back yet. But at the same time, I feel like the Chiefs, they've shown that they are a strong enough side, and all they need to do is just make sure that they've got their home final like they were hoping for last year. It's only due to that loss up against the Blues that ended up hurting them. And who's your prediction? I reported Jason, says LB. And also, you're so lost, bro. I just breathe is okay, says BTW Panzer. And also, we've got the you can get a fine and arrested, Hamish, says Mohadeen. What, for not doing Bath versus Gloucester? And where does the rugby championship? No rugby championship this year, unfortunately. Abuse, says Jason. You're the only one who's been abusive, Jason. You've come into the live stream and you've just been an annoyance the whole time. Like, this is worse than normal. Normally, you're about a 5 out of 10 on the annoying scale. This time, you've just come in with any sort of value to the comment section. So, like, you can always just leave, and I don't think we'll miss you. There you go. There's your slightly meaner comment you were looking for. We have got there, wait, what, says short videos, and also we have got there, who you got, Canes or Fiji or Crusaders or Chiefs or Blues or Brumbies, as in, like, for the top 8 or top 6, or what are we doing, like, for this weekend? I assume you're talking about the 3 games. So Canes, Fiji, I think the Hurricanes will be strong enough to win. Crusaders versus Chiefs, Chiefs should sneak it. And then Brumbies, Blues, I think the Brumbies might go all right. We have got there with the ABs not having a coach. Is this going to ruin the series? Depends. I feel like even if they still had Robertson, it was probably going to be a hard series anyway, but they will have a coach by July, even if New Zealand Rugby are trying their best to stall it for as long as physically possible. But, yeah, it's one of those ones that is always going to be tough anyway. Second half is on, says Quandele. For us here in New Zealand, we've still got the players waiting to make their way back out. So we've probably got a little bit longer. Get a life offline, Jason. See, I have a life offline. I can't guarantee you've got a life on or offline, Jason, from your comments. Like, it's weird. I think you just wanted attention and you weren't really getting it the way that you wanted, so then you threw your titties out your cot. But, like, for someone who's been on the streams for so long, we've let you away with so much that now if you left, I just don't think I care, you know? What's up, everyone? I'm so glad our cricket team through to the semis, but that is where the whole South Africa gets nervous. Says Xander, is there no coach in July? What happens when New Zealand games get cancelled? They'll have a coach by then, even if it's just some random bloke who they're like, right, you'll do for now. Ian Foster's back in for a few days or something. Like, they won't cancel a tour because they can't find a coach, because they've got coaching options. It's just whether or not the coaches get so sick of waiting in the end. We have good there. I got Canes and Moana, says Raiden. Well said, Amish, says Brandon. We have good there. I'm laughing so much. I'm going to need a medication now, says Ruth. And also we have good there. Jason seems to be lost. Do you know, are you online now, Jason, says Ruby. And also, I got Canes to get up by. So you're going 40 for the Canes. I think I read that one originally and didn't process it. So 40 for the Canes away from home against Fiji. It's a big score, although they do have Cam Roygar back in that starting lineup. So there's decent potential there. It's only my second time on a stream. So is that... No, you're the same one who said, is Will Jordan playing every single live stream for like the last year? Hashtag pray for Jason, says Xander. And Go Moana says Raiden. Also, do you think we will better to face... or who do you think we will be better to face in the semis? Who are you picking to win? So you're saying India will beat West Indies, right? Because that's probably... I think... If the... but the Windies are normally pretty handy against us. But then South Africa beat us in the group stage. So... I don't know. I feel like either way, it's pretty tough, whoever you end up with. And it probably represents the semi-finals quite well, that there's no such thing as an easy game for those sides through. We have good there. I'm just happy you're doing this for the URC games. Yep, we are doing the live streams for the URC this weekend, the two South African derbies. We have good there. No, not me, sorry. Okay, well, we'll work on the theory that this is your first stream and you're already close to getting kicked off it, Jason. And you can't, like, you've already said, I've reported the stream. So, like, what do you want us to do? Go, oh, sorry, Jason, we'll just keep you around because you seem like good value. Like, if you want to stick around, just don't be annoying. That's the basis of anything in life. Now this one's going to be kicked back into the pocket. Ben Donaldson. Can you read put this one towards the sideline? Cam Roygaard is playing. Says Fortnite. He is. That's what I said. I said he was going to be playing in that matchup. Jason not coming up in my comments. I must have blocked him ages ago, says Bruce. You probably got sick of him quicker than everyone else did, Bruce. Now line out throw for Sanarevi. Yeah, so Messi Paya was the man who got taken off. All nicely done in the air. Although I think it's popped on the side of the force. Yes, it has. Jason definitely works for Sky. Says D-Funk. Now, been told to use it. Hasty to put the ball high. Now, trying to go up for it. Another knock on from Moana. Tom Robertson, the man, is going to end up in open space. Hamish is not nice to me. I'll give you a little bit of a word of advice, Mohadeen. We're not in the mood to go through that same repetitive process of does Hamish like me this week with what's already gone on in the stream. So we can try and give you the reassurance once more, or you can just know the same answer as last week and the week before that and the week before that and just not ask it again. And yeah, or South Africa, anyone, they both hard. Says bad to the bones. Yeah, I don't think there's any such thing as an easy game. Now Harry Johnson-Holmes going back across to the left-hand side. Going over the top. So it's going to be well taken by Ikuasi. Oh, there's a little knock on the ground from the force. Who's in position? Now Moana will have the ball around the halfway line. And Hamish Stewart to get a try. He probably deserves one the way that he has started in this one. James Dolman is a good ref or bad? He's all right. I don't mind him. Overall. And please not again, Martin, says Xander. As like the AB's no DH policy, says Samuel. And also love that movie, says Ruth. Now 37 minutes still there. Hamish only likes the ones who tip the channel mainly. No, I just like the ones who can have intelligent conversation, Jason. And you've shown on this live stream that you're not falling into that category. You asked, oh, what's that animal with 4 legs? And what was your other one? Who's the cricketer who uses a wooden bat? Like, if you could add something to the chat, go for it. But if you don't, we just won't read the messages. Who's going to the All Blacks game versus France, who lives in Christchurch, says Fortnite. And also, now straight up, says Shane. Well, I happened to India the other day. They did lose. They definitely weren't supposed to. They were considered favourites, but they've bounced back well. And as long as they beat the West Indies, they still go through to the next stage. So I would say that's something. And the thing is, we can't lose Sri Lanka as well as India for the semi-finals. It just would not be good for the crowd numbers if you lost both host nations from the comp. All Blacks can beat Italy and Wellington. Now that one's going to be a penalty. This one goes the way of MOANA Pasifika. They have had the better scrum out there. That's Harry Johnson-Holmes, who has been penalised. As he asked, what's that street with houses? He hasn't, but that would have been a better question. We have got there's New Zealand out of the T20. They are still in it. If they beat England tonight, they're guaranteed through. And Molina playing well. When are the Highlanders going to unleash the RG import, Lavanini? It's actually a really good question because he's been playing for I think a majority of the teams here in New Zealand at the moment have got their main team, and then there's also like a B competition running, which is everyone who's not making the main squad consistently, they get a game in that one. So it's kind of like let's say Highlanders and Highlanders A. He's been playing for the Highlanders A side, so he has been playing rugby. It's just he hasn't been playing for the Highlanders yet. I'll kick downfield from the Force side of the 22 for MOANA Pasifika. And that one's going to be booted into touch again. Even if the Black Cats lose, they're probably going through. Maybe. Pakistan, though, they have got a decent chance. Because it would not one bit surprise me if Pakistan need to win by 70 runs up against Sri Lanka. They win by 71. Is all I'm going to say. When Kiwi Sports come back, it's happening or no? Probably not. Not in the near future anyway. It's normally just the backup option. Now New Zealand play England tonight. To decide who we play, both South Africa or India most likely. Says bad to the bone. Yeah, so New Zealand have their game up against England in about, must be 6 hours or so. If they win that, they're through alongside England. If they lose it and Pakistan beat Sri Lanka, Pakistan can still get past. Definitely if New Zealand, like, the problem you've got with England is they can go out and score 250 runs if they're in form. And if they just have a freak game. So New Zealand have to make sure if they were to lose, they can't lose by much. Or else then that opens up the door for Pakistan to sneak their way through. Looks like another scrum feed here will be the MOANA Pasifika feed this time. I've been following Hamish from around 15k subs roughly. He's genuine. Says Nazi. And yeah, it is always awesome to think we've been doing this for about 5 years or so. Hamish needs drama to keep the stream semi-relevant. It's just the way the world is these days. Well, the drama's normally the rugby. So, like, you know, the controversy of George Bridge, that was a good chat. Not how many legs does an animal have. Now, Jonathan Tamatene going back across to the right-hand side. Nice run from Nani Laumape. Now, Tamatene being told to use it. Across to Chris Apua. I don't think he'll be miles away from making his way on. What game do you like more? What, as in like rugby or cricket? They're very different. I feel like you can watch both of them on the same day and feel like you're watching two completely different things. So that's like the good thing about it. Ben Donaldson though on the halfway line now. Hamish Stewart hits it up again. For the Western Force. If they scored now, they get themselves back into the bonus point contention. Pakistan are hopeless. Sri Lanka will probably beat them. See, I just don't trust that Pakistan can't pull something off, though, which is why New Zealand just need to beat England, and then that's everything out of the way, done and dusted, you know. But I don't think I'd guarantee that Pakistan can't somehow beat Sri Lanka by a lot. Definitely after how Sri Lanka played up against England. Like, that was the game that made me go, oh, that's not good. Franco Molina. Now Force to the short side. Darby Lancaster. Oh, there's a bit of an injury here for one of the MOANA Pasifika players. Looks like he may have got a boot to the face. We have got the Super Rugby team I support. It's a New Zealand team in the North Island. Right, so that's 3 options. I'm going to go the Hurricanes. Because I think, didn't you say earlier on that you thought the Hurricanes would win by 40? No, that might have been someone else actually. Cricket and rugby, says Mohadeen. Yeah, see, I can watch both on the same day and be happy enough. That looks like Lalo Milo is actually the man with the injury. And we have got the Nazi Cape Town sizzling and morning, evening, Hamish, how's things? Says Flesh, doing all right so far. This game bit more one-sided than we were hoping for. But that's all right. Hopefully the next one's a bit closer. Had contact to Lalomelo, might be a yellow. What happens? Oh, catches him on the top of the head and the clean out for Equalizes. Now, you could say, I don't think Equalizes actually seen him in the process of going in. Where's the ball? Who's in position? Says Quandeli. Well, they're just having a bit of a review of this at the moment. So that will determine whether or not it's right back to where it is. Okay, they've just said it's unfortunate, the collision, but there was nothing cynical about it. By the sounds of it. It's 45 degrees by me, says Mohadeen. Looks like Lalomelo will have to make his way off the field, though, for the HIA. So that is going to bring out Latu onto the field in the 23 jersey. Up the Canes, my dad made me a fan. But yeah, it is going to be now the line out for the Western Force, 22 metres out from Moana Pasifika's line. Another try now can change this game in an instant. Ball's available. Tazano just has a little bit of a slip there. Still gets the ball away to Hamish Stewart. Now left-hand side. Currently Lalomelo. Probably will be off for about 10, I would say. If he does actually make his way back out. Although it wouldn't be surprising if he didn't end up passing. He was down for a decently long period of time. Chris Apua actually managing to get the steal on the breakdown there. Looked like it should have been offside against the Western Force, but Moana Pasifika locked back over the ball and wins the penalty 15 metres out from their own line. Assuming the Hurricanes game tomorrow, we certainly are. Yep, that is going to be the early game. Taking place at 4:30 p.m. Off topic, how many games this weekend roughly, Hamish? So the plan is to do 3 Super Rugby tomorrow, plus the 2 URC after that. So 5 games, and then maybe a game of the NRL or T20 World Cup. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll try and squeeze something else in there. But no guarantees for anything other than those 5 at this stage. I'm coming back to the Reds vs Islanders live stream. See you then, Hamish. Says Brandon. So we will see you later on. Game taking place in about an hour and 13 minutes time. Hurricanes by 50. See, that's a big scoreline, though, to do in Fiji. Definitely because I think last year, didn't they lose in Fiji, the Hurricanes? Maybe? Or was that the year prior that they lost to Fiji? Draw in Fiji? I'm going to have a quick look. It might have been the year prior. Hurricanes won up against the Fijian draw in Wellington, 38-34. I think there was some controversy from that game, if I remember rightly. And then, Hurricanes beat Fijian draw 38-15. I think I was thinking of that game at home in Wellington. I got a crazy weekend rugby schedule, says K Slade. And how about Six Nations on Sunday? No Six Nations this round, only because of the fact that there's no matches this weekend. It is a bye week in the Six Nations, then the competition comes back the week after. That's a big collision for Samisi Tupo Tailoa. Taking our position at the moment is 21% for Moana Pasifika, so really just not getting their hands on the ball that much here. Still time, though, to be able to get something going. One second, we'll go like that, and we'll go like that as well. Now, line out throw here. Ball is on the side of Moana Pasifika. Hey, you viewers, tick the like button. Can you actually report individual comments in the chat? I thought you would have known the answer to that, Jason. I think you can. Although they don't normally, unless there's 50 people who report it, YouTube normally just have it as an error and it doesn't do anything. Fiji not done, bro. Says Nazi Williams. One's going to be a kick downfield. Nicely taken by Moana Pasifika around the halfway line. And that's Tavita offer as well. Right, looks like the ball's there for Moana. It's hard work, though, to get it out the back. Alan Craig, another carry for him. Oh, pick and go from Sanarevi. It's just a little bit slower than you'd expect to see for Moana Pasifika at the moment. They haven't really got that insane breakdown speed that's in the process of a tackle. It's a knock-on, though. I'm allowed to dream big, mate, says Shane. It'd be pretty cool if you can hand out yellow or red cards in the chat. Hamish says Ruby. I guess it's kind of like a timeout and a ban, isn't it? But it sucks that it doesn't like come up with like, it would be like a little cool animation or something to have. We will see you from 4 p.m. tomorrow or 4:30 until 12 a.m. Sunday morning. Yeah, and then after that, I think the URC this game at 1:30 and a game at 4. So pretty much from 4:30 through to about 6 a.m. We're going to be roughly live on the channel. I better check my fantasy rugby score. Did you say at the start of the stream who you backed in fantasy? I feel like you might have. I think you had about 3 or 4, unless it was someone else that I'm thinking of. I said about who they had in their fantasy side. I'm not sure though. And now I'm scrolling back through and I can't find it. Maybe not. Someone said that they had about 3 players though. I don't know if that was you, Jason. Now, quick tap taken by Jonathan Tamatine. On away to the left-hand side. Miracle Faialangi going over the top at Donaldson almost. Chance for the Force. We have good there. Say hi to us. Watching from Latoka, Fiji, please. Says Nasoni. So shout out to you guys. Of course, we are going to be covering the Fiji and Drua game tomorrow up against the Hurricanes. How do you think they'll go in that match? Let me know. I hope it's close. Well, we've seen a couple one-sided predictions so far. Now, Tamatine goes across the Miracle Faialangi. Oh, tried to get the steal. The breakdown. There is the penalty advantage, though, in favour of MOANA Pasifika. A little bit slow getting back up to his feet. There is Miracle Faialangi. Looks like he is exhausted out there on the field, although he's still joined the breakdown. I know I didn't arrive until 15 minutes in. Must have been someone else then. Now, Tamatine off to the left-hand side. A collision there. Pole alongside Sanarevi. I always lose my bets on Moana. I'm such a dreamer, says Ruby. But every once in a while, they do well. And the thing is, they came in as favourites for this match, but they haven't really shown it yet. They've had a little bit too many errors, I would say. And a hat-trick, says Ruth. I can translate to Samoan language. I only know whaamalosi in Samoan. That's the only word that I've got up my sleeve. And I think my Samoan's gotten slightly worse ever since the Samoan 7-sider in Division 3. When they were on the main circuit, I was learning quite a few Samoan words, mainly the swear words that people were calling me. But from there, we haven't seen a huge amount of Samoan, unfortunately. Nick Dolly looks like he's done for the day. Same with Harry Johnson-Home, both men taken off the field. Hope so, Roof. Yes to the Crusaders. Out of George Bridge play for the Force. He did score a try. He also had one disallowed because he stalled a little bit in the in-goal area, got smashed by Tavita Offa and was ruled to have dropped the ball. But yeah, did end up scoring not too long after that. And he's run some good lines throughout this game. All that's a rough scrum. George Bridge beautiful. Let's go. Oh, sorry, George Bridge powerful from Ruth. Sorry, I'm that used to you complimenting the looks of the players, Ruth. Let's go, Moana. Bring Gabe off of the bench. See, here's Jude. 1 second, we'll go like that. If I made it so that you guys can almost see the names. I just realised that. Luckily, I just read the first name rather than the last, eh? And Bridge to get it over again. Says Ruth. 5 from 5 scrums, 1 by Moana Pasifika. And good morning, Hamish. Hello from Kazakhstan again. Wonderful. Minus 34. Is that's Celsius, right? This morning, pleasure listening again. Or is that Fahrenheit? It might be Fahrenheit, but either way, that's still very cold. And sorry, bro, says Nasoni. And also, we've got there, where's the finish? MOANA Pasifika, damn slow-paced game. Oh, another free kick this time going the way of the Western Force. Who has the ball now? Western Force have got the ball after winning the free kick. Celsius. MOANA Pasifika, they have not scored quite a wee while. To be fair, the Western Force, they have got themselves the 3 tries throughout this first half. The second half, first 15. We haven't seen any points yet. There's a bit of hope, though. Hopefully, this one, let's get that a little bit closer. Going off to the left-hand side. Ben Donaldson. Currently sitting around the halfway line. Are they going to charge a $9 toll to use the Auckland Harbour Bridge? Are they? Did they have? They didn't have any toll or anything beforehand. I know in Australia they have tolls on a lot of places in terms of going from state to state. Now that's nicely taken by Moana. I think we need to try soon from either of these sides. Just something to break up the play and give the guys a little bit of a spell. And you should do fantasy team next year. And our subscribers to the league, says K Slade. I'm not sure. I don't know how many people would join it. I think there'd only be about maybe 10 of us. And I know that I'll be 10th in terms of this scoring the points. 15 minutes, no tries and penalty kicks. What do they do? Or what are these teams doing, says Nkabi. Keep you in the ball to Laumape will save you as Moana, and the draw beat the Canes in Lautoka a few years ago. Last time they played the Canes and Fiji, they played in Suva, says Freshman. How good's your memory, Freshman? There was a controversial moment in Wellington between the teams last year, wasn't there? I can't remember what it might have been either a disallowed try or a big call. But there was something that I think Fiji and Draw was almost able to win that game, but something happened. I can't remember what. Oh, Western Force have just been pinged for wasting time at the line-out. So already earlier on in this contest, they were told, get set quicker. There's a good saying, don't rub me up the wrong way, says Ruth. And freezing, I thought the planet was warming up, says Moa Hunters. I spend more time with you on the weekends than my wife, says Jude. We are live a lot on the weekends. But hopefully you still do something with her outside of the streams, like a dinner or just, talking to her. That's one of the best things about having a wife, I've heard, is being able to chat to her. Not that I can relate. Oh, looking for the steal there in the breakdown for MOANA Pasifika. That should have been their ball, and the referee does award the penalty actually against them. Okay, no clear release is the call. Don't let me give you a timeout, Rude, says Nazi Williams. And we have got about giving the ball to Laumape. I think one more try for the Force and this game's done. And they're in a good position to now be able to do just that. No, I do it watching you. No, I do it watching you. As in like talking. Is that some good multitasking, to be fair? Now 7 metres out, Western Force with the ball in hand. Oviedo has it at the back. This one's moving nicely. About 3 metres short now. And there is a new advantage in favour of the Western Force. Darby Lancaster was one of the players searching around, trying to get that ball. Nazi, the game needs to do it. Attack and maintain. I wake up MOANA Pasifika, see Shane. Still under the penalty advantage. Equalizes. I'm currently 7th in my league of 947. That's good going. Do you get any sort of prizes for it, Jason, if you're in the top 10 or top 50 or anything like that? Now going across to the right-hand side. Donaldson. Seeing 10 metres out again. Oh, just jumping in off the feet in the breakdown. Here's Carlo Tazzano. Hey, bro, good to see you again. Says Epic Will. Good to see you as well. Hopefully you are excited for all the matches that are taking place. It's just a shame we haven't got the Six Nations. Oh, that's some nice, quick, elusive stepping from the replacement halfback and Augustin Moyano. Would you stream the Storm Eels game on Thursday, says K Slade? I'm slightly considering, that's close to the try line. In fact, that's over the try line, I believe. It's going to be held up. Yeah, I'm slightly considering the NRL on Sunday, maybe. Maybe. No guarantees. Same with the T20 World Cup. There are a few things that I'm thinking about covering throughout the later stages of the weekend. In the Global League, you get 10K worth of prizes for fantasy. Here's K Slade. Paul Williams forgot his yellow cards. We've seen a lot of penalties against both these sides, haven't we? Definitely inside of the 22. 10 against MOANA Pasifika in total. 9 against the Western Force in total. But again, the Force kick for the corner. They are chasing the bonus point from this game. Ticking over to the final 20 now of this contest. It's gone nowhere throughout the second half, but there's still time. And minutes left, please. Usa Fa'amalosi Moana says sort of party at the moment, 20 minutes remaining. So not much time, but still long enough to be able to get back into it. Now looking to roll this one. Doesn't look like it's actually moving much. There is another advantage, though. It's MOANA Pasifika. Where is that ball? I think it might almost start moving now. Yep, they make an extra metre or so. I don't think that's legal. Ovieto's just pretty much gone from joining in the breakdown, standing up and then going himself. But a couple metres short for the Western Force. Good lead strength. But again, just out. Equalizes uses fast. This is where, once again, Tizano is the type of player who finds a way of scoring a try, though it's gone through his legs. Going off to George Bridge, 1 metre short. It's got goal line defence from Moana. Now, Moyano tries to go himself. Didn't quite have the size to go alongside it. Told to use it again, and they'll go back for the penalty. Has anyone played the new Resident Evil game? I haven't actually played any of the Resident Evil games. But they're split screen, right? Update on Peter. Who's Peter? Update on Peter. Update on Peter. Who's Peter? Peter. All I can think of is Peter Umunga Jensen, but I don't think that's the Peter that you're talking about. Hi from France, says Theo. Welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. Bonjour, Theo, says Ruth. What type of video games do you enjoy? Or more into movies or shows? I don't mind a good sports game. Like, I enjoy playing cricket on Xbox. I want to say that I enjoy Rugby 25, but I just don't. It hasn't quite got to the stage of being a good game yet. But if it does, we're going to start another career mode. Peter of... Oh, you're talking about Peter Stefter Toy. Okay, so you're on a first name basis with him. I had no idea who Peter was. But yeah, still injured, unfortunately. But that is going to be a try now for the Force. And it's Carlo Tizano who does get in again for this side. And Peter of the Springboks and also Peter Pollock. Henry Pollock, let's go. Says, Reuven, good game, everyone. Good Friday. Says Theo, and that is now maybe what could get the Force to 5 points in total. Do you follow the Six Nations tournament? We certainly do. We have covered every single game of the Six Nations on the channel so far. Bye week this week and then straight back into the competition next week with some pretty crucial games for the overall competition. But yeah, Tizano breaking off the back. You can see how patiently he was waiting for his opportunity as well to be able to go for that chance of scoring. And they were just short of the line, but he goes himself there and gets over for the Force. And Peter the Pumpkin Eater, says Jason, and Western Force got this. Yeah, I don't see Moana coming back now. The fact that we're up to 63 minutes through, just getting that little bit more one-sided. That kick's gone over. Peter Rabbit, says Jason, is my TV wrong? It says the Force scored a try. They certainly did, so 28 points to 7 now. And Donaldson able to convert as well. Res 9, but realistically won't be playing it until Sunday. Or picking Res 9. And Peter Hiku, I think he means. Rice rating 25. Like is worth buying and playing? No. Not at the moment. And it's been out for like a year almost. But the gist of it is, it's still a pretty glitchy game. You're pretty restricted with what you're able to do. Like, you can't even create a team with existing players. But if you like a couple glitches here and there, but you can put up with that and you enjoy like a game with quite a few names in it, like these guys, like I'd say go for it. I wasn't commentating, bro. Says Mitchell, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. You've been there for this one. We've got another game just around the corner. Highlanders versus Reds. Taking place in Australia, Suncorp. The host of that one, Moana, currently, though. They've got a lot of work to do. They want to get themselves any form of bonus points from this matchup. It is another penalty, though, this time to Moana. Jackson Garden Bishop, he has made his way onto the field and looks like straight away they're going for the corner. If Moana scored now, it would take away a bonus point from the Western Force. If you're a rapper, Carlo Tizzano rhymes. I guess so. Probably can't say you're wrong there. And MOANA Pasifika suck. They need Artie, but he's not available, says Josiah. Yeah, he went to get money overseas. So they are without him, as well as about 14 other players who left them for last season. Now, line out here, Sanarevi, ready to throw it in. Now, does Miracle Whaialangi have anything left in his gas tank? He's the type of player who normally does bring quite an impact for this side. He just looks like he's a little bit out on his feet in the second half. How's your mum and your mate George doing? Mum's doing well. George is also doing well. If I can really persuade him, if I end up doing any NRL on Sunday, I'll try and get him here for it. I mean, I've just pulled my hammy. So here's Jared. You know, it's no fun when that happens. Now sitting 7 metres out from the line. Tamatine goes across now. It's actually the replacement 16. Has made his way onto the field. Sam Molly. Now 5 metres out. Oh, falling over the breakdown. Going forward. Latu held up. Now ball's still there. I think that's Samisi Tupo Taeloa. And Highlanders win by 17. Oh, you're going big. Okay. To be fair, about 2022, I think they did win by that margin-ish over in Australia. All still there for Moana. 9 phases in. It's almost the most phases we've actually seen them put together the whole game for MOANA Pasifika, which is a little bit of a concern, but also a good thing that they're starting to find a bit of rhythm now. Getting back up to his feet, Solomon Ally Marlowe tried to have 2 cracks at the line. And yeah, he's going to be done for crawling. So in that case, it will be the penalty going the way of the Western Force. And the chance for MOANA Pasifika is now gone. However, there go Jamie and the Highlanders, says Naz Williams. I guess the Landers going to have to make up for Moana. And also looks like you've had a shave. I did have a shave midweek. But yeah, it was probably due. I don't talk too much. We want to watch the game, says Wise Guy. Well, if you are such a wise guy, you will know that this is available on Sky Sport, Stan Sport, Super Sport, all those different options. So be sure to check those out. And also the highlights will be up on the Sky Sport YouTube channel straight after the game too. But line out throw here for Oviedo. And 40 metres out at the moment away from their own line here, the Force. Thrown in. Just the 13 minutes now left on the clock. Back away to the right. And Donaldson, man, who did pass his HIA to even be able to play in this game. Oh, big drop there from Moana. Beautiful pickup from Carlo Tizzano. That's to sneak his way through the defence. Ball's still there. A little bit of indecision from Moyono. Does the bounce pass there. So does Donaldson to George Bridge. Open space here on the left-hand side. Offload there. One more to Oviedo. Now oh no, drop ball there. Benison not able to take it cleanly, so it will be the scrum feed for MOANA Pasifika just out from their own goal line. Oh, sorry, just out from their 22. Please do a bet on money, lose the money, says Mohadeen. I assume that's please do not bet, maybe, because you lose your money. You're a good man, Ham, says Jared. You miss Sorry George. He's authentic for sure, respectfully, of course. Yeah, I think the last stream we had him on was one of those Pacific Championship games, and he came in and showed you guys his chicken wings and then left at half-time. So that was eventful, but you never know what's going to happen with the George live stream. Do you think Leroy Carter will make the AB squad? I think he's got a decent chance at the moment. It all depends on who the coach is. It's going to be a long season for Moana, says Broderick. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of up and downs. And Highlanders are only a few mistakes a game away from kicking some butts and showing the potential they should be showing. Says Jason. Yeah, the good news so far is the injury list isn't huge. Oh, penalty to the Western Force again. Like, injury list for the Highlanders at this stage. They've got Fabian Holland out for the season, Saul Lamau out for 5 weeks, Xavier Tito Harris out for 1, Finn Hurley out for 6, Andrew Newstub out for 1, Dylan Pledger out for the season, and then Ta'avao out for compassionate grounds, which is actually a really short injury list and players unavailable list compared to what they had at this stage last year when they were up to about 12 by this stage. So if they can avoid all the injuries to their top players, they should be a handful. Do you ever do a bet? Nah, I have like 50 cents in my TAB account so that I can watch things through the TAB, but I'm terrible at prediction. Hey there, Kiwi, says Dawny Edits. Welcome back, Dawny. Currently 11 minutes remaining and currently a good lead for this Western Force side who are looking to extend it by even more. Can the Highlanders beat the Reds? Says Quandele. They can, but if they will, could be a different story. Now, moving forward. Oh, that was almost a finger in the eyeball. An accidental one in the process, but rolling over. It's another try for the Western Force. They're going good at the moment, this Force side. Are we really that surprised? The Western Force are winning, always underachievers year after year. This could be their only win of the season. Yeah, it's been a good one, though, to be fair to them. Like, it's a hard one for the Force because, honestly, they have a good squad. Like, I look through at this team and I think, yep, they've got potential. Like, Darby Lancaster coming back today, brilliant. He managed to score himself a try as well in the process. The rolling mauls actually look really handy ever since they've continued going to it rather than the other way around. Force has been good this season. Yeah, they've only conceded 100 points so far throughout their first 2 games. And, like, they've had good moments, though. Like, they just haven't defended. That's the gist of it. They've known how to score. They just can't stop the other team from scoring most of the time. This is their best defensive effort by far, and they've looked relatively in control when it comes to that defense. We have got there. Do you remember when there was a fan crying when Black Cats lost to India in your chat when you were doing a rugby live? Says Dawny Edits. Not really, no. Is it the first time the Force beat Moana? No, they beat them last year 45-44 in a last-minute thriller where they managed to score right at the death of that game. Lennox started at 9 will be a bonus if he isn't another box kick specialist. It's going to go backwards for MOANA Pasifika, so the ball back in their hands. On a way to the left-hand side for Alan Craig. Oh, but the Force trying to get the steal that time. It was Jeremy Williams. He's told to get out of there. Tamatene looks like they're just going to slow this one down again for Moana. Might not be a terrible move here. I just said there, Max Bury. Man who's made his way back on for Ben Donaldson. Can Moana still win? No. They've got 8.5 minutes. They can cut away from that bonus point of the Force, but they would need 2 tries to do so. And that would be double what they've scored so far in this game. Has Moana beaten every single Super Rugby team? I don't think so. I think there's still a couple teams that they have to still tick off. But they've beaten most. Now going away to the right-hand side. Nice inside ball from Jonathan Tamatena. Goes to Taveta Offa. Now moving away to the right-hand side. That's some easy pie. Yeah, it is. He's made his way back on. I didn't actually think we were going to see that man for the rest of this game. Little knock on from Moana. And again, it's just that frustration. Hamish would actually be gutting and supporting all New Zealand if they actually had the glory in 2019 World Cup final, T20 or 2021 T20 World Cup, 2025 CT final, World Cup 2015 final. Actually had glory. Well, that 2019 one, I did stay up and watch the whole way through. Even though I got to like 7 a.m. And that was before I had a broken sleep schedule as well. That was a big night. Force going for the try, says Hobbit, and Moana hasn't beaten the Chiefs. Says the Sporting Kiwi. Do you know who else they haven't beaten? Sporting Kiwi so far? I think there's 2 or 3 teams that they haven't got past. I think they've beaten the Canes. Don't know if they've beaten the Crusaders. Or did they? They may have beaten them 2 years ago? Maybe? Right. Paul Williams just telling both sides to sort their stuff out. They've beaten the Highlanders. I'm just looking through last year. They lost to the Chiefs 85-7. And then the week after, 64-12. After beating the Blues the week before that. So yeah, they've beaten the Blues. They've beaten the Highlanders. Yeah, they beat the Crusaders last year in Christchurch, so they've beaten the Crusaders. I think they've beaten the Canes, right? So it must be the Chiefs is the only Kiwi side they haven't got past. And I think they've beaten a few of the Aussie teams as well. Being told to use it. Back into the pocket. Max Bury just tries to clear as far downfield as he can. A bit of a one-sided game, yeah, a bit more than we would have liked, to be fair. It seemed like when it was early on in 7-7, it looked like it could have gone either way, but now it's in control. One of these sides. Ready to throw this one in for Sanarevi. Oh no, sorry, that is Sam Molly now. A replacement hooker. Oh, another free kick, this time awarded to Moana Pasifika. Now moving forward here. Only 10 metres out from the try line, shifting it away to the left. I think if they can get it out wide, Solomon Alai-Malo will have a decent chance. Oh, that's a huge fend from the number 21 getting over there. Great run from Milani Matavao and scores the try between the posts. The first try in about 60 minutes or so. Oh, hang on. What's happened there? I just heard another blow of the whistle from the referee. I guess they beat the Canes earlier in the season last year before getting thrashed by them in the second game, says the Sporting Kiwi. And my fantasy boys have had a shocker, says Highlanders. Yeah, I think a lot of people would have had Miracle Langi in their fantasy team, but we've hardly seen him today throughout this match. But that's a great finish from Milani Matavao, getting in the big fend. And now Moana gave themselves, I guess, a little bit of a goal and a bit of hope for this game. If they score once more, they take the bonus point off the Western Force. So now this gets that little bit more intriguing. I've just seen here that they've also beaten the Waratahs. So at the moment, they lost to the Force last year. Have they beaten the Force in the years prior? They've actually beaten the Waratahs consistently. And they've beaten the Reds, so that's another team crossed off. Have they beaten the Brumbies? Probably the other side that I'm not sure about. That is another penalty. Oh, March 10 as well. A little bit of attitude coming back from the Western Force. Tizano has had one try. Has done nothing else, says Highlanders fan. Now another line-out throw. Did they ever beat the Rebels too? That would be an interesting one. As I see at the moment from the years that I'm going through, that the Rebels beat them twice. I think the Rebels have never lost to Moana by the looks of this. That's impressive. This game has been a hard watch, says Highlanders fan. It hasn't been the smoothest game by far, has it? But hopefully that Reds Highlanders game just around the corner is going to be a whole different ballpark. Now Jackson Garden Basham passes on the outside. Offload over the top to Miracle Langi. My daughter has just conned me to take herself and her friend to the weekend's, or next weekend's Highlanders versus Force game. Says Jason. That'd be an alright game though, to be fair, down in Dunedin. Oh, that was a hard landing on Jackson Garden Basham on the ground. Bonus points still in play currently for the Western Force. Milani Matavao, he's brought a good impact since making his way on. All still there. Alan Craig tries to spin. He's left himself a little bit vulnerable to a counter ruck. Matavao, Garden Basham now across further to the left-hand side. Cutting back in is some messy Pyre. But the Melbourne Rebels in the NPC, I say, says the Sporting Kiwi. Would be interesting. Are they in like the NRC or anything now in Australia? Is that still a thing? Or are they just gone completely from everything? Well done, Aussie. Oh, well, Western Force, well done, Force. Aussie's up. Now passed across, 22 metres out, big driving run from Moana. They don't look like they're quite done yet here. If they can keep on shifting it away to the left-hand side. I have another try-scoring opportunity. Pick and go. 15 metres out. The Force still fighting to try and get that ball back. They know that their bonus point is currently up for grabs. Now Matavao goes across to Sam Molly. I'm confident the Highlanders will not disappoint us. Big pick and go there on the side of the breakdown. Now Afungia, there's an advantage in play for Moana Pasifika. I don't think that's legal from Darcy Swain, and yeah, that's going to be a penalty against the Force. It possibly could have been a yellow card for slowing it down as well. Alan Craig looks like he wants to take this one quickly. He also looks like now he's just going to leave it. Let the team regroup. I want to walk over, only 2 minutes to go. See you in the next game, says Moa Hunters. And yeah, now it's just that question of can they keep the bonus point? I think they're in the NRC. I wouldn't mind having an Aussie team in the NPC. They always do us a favour with the NRL. 5 metres out from the line now. Ball is there. Samisi Paya goes across to Sam Molly. Another advantage. 1 metre short. This is a massive chance. Passed out. It's Alan Craig who's managed to score at the big lock. And that will be the MOANA Pasifika third try of the match and the Western Force bonus point taken away. I let MOANA Pasifika then Tizano score. And also, don't let the like button hit you on the way out, says a Ruby. That's a good pass. I actually thought we were going to see someone like an Ally Marlowe out on that wing, but it's Alan Craig. The big lock. What time the next game? Have to go hand wash my undies under the hose outside. After a hard day of concreting, you know the deal, says Naz. I do know that feeling all too well. Next game's in 40 minutes time, so you got a bit of time. Missed kick from Jackson Garden Bishop. 2 seconds remaining on the clock. And that is in fact the end of the game. So the Western Force, they will win this contest 35 points to 19, but they will not receive the bonus point. So 4-point win for the Western Force in terms of the table, but it is their first win of the season and first win in New Zealand since 2022. That's not Tana's fault, like the news said this week. Moana couldn't go to Tonga to play this year due to dollars, says Nazi. And full-time, says Islanders. And this game, it turned out to be closer than it seemed, which is good news. Because it did seem like it was going a little bit more in a one-sided direction. Around halfway. Moana fought back nicely in the last 20. It is something they've done throughout the rest of the competition too, but they will now go into a very tough run of games. 4 games in a row up against New Zealand sides. It's going to be pretty tough on there. I hear the big weekend of Super Rugby in Christchurch is over, a holiday weekend, which will have bar opening restrictions. Yeah, because when is the Super Round? It's about mid-April, late April, isn't it? Somewhere around there. Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what the new stadium looks like for rugby-wise. That first game, Tars versus Crusaders as well, should be a great one. And there too is Nathan Hasty looking good enough to make the Wallabies since he's eligible. He's looking handy enough at the moment for this Force side. I do think that he looked better last week? Yeah, last week up against the Blues he looked sharp. This week he looked okay, but I feel like last week was his better of the 2 games. But maybe, it depends on who they're looking at. Nick White, of course, now out of the question, so that takes away one option. So, yeah, we'll wait and see. But nonetheless, 40 minutes, then we're back for the next live stream, ladies and gents. So, yeah, we will see you all for that next one.